Wraith is someone who we saw on Fortnite, and he hates me for saying this, but this guy played a lot of Master Yi.
Played like, 2 games, dude.
Dude, he played Master Yi.
Yeah, with Tarek as well, and it worked out pretty well in most cases, and you were having a great day as well when
you got to cast it.
You were every single one.
And you went through 20 minutes of Yi mechanics.
Yeah.
Which is like...
It's really intricate.
I'm surprised he was able to discuss that many types of Yi mechanics.
And we're like, well, he actually knows a lot about Master Yi, because that's back when he... Anyway, get past Master Yi. So there is a really strong roster on the Abyss Academy. We know that lineup. On Corvidae, you have someone who played, like, what, I'm not even sure he played a game last split. You've got Oza down in the bottom lane. Now, Oza is someone who hasn't really had the chance to shine, but let him pop off. I feel like this guy could do a lot, and champion like Twitch maybe is available for him. He has a big, diverse champion pool.
Also Jinx. I mean, I was watching his stream very briefly. He played a whole lot of Jinx. So, yeah, if he gets any of the hyper carries, that'll go really well for him.
Well, we are about to jump into game number 4. However, it's going to be between Abyss Academy and Corvidae. So we're going to leave Mendrix once again, and Corvidae and Abyss Academy. You can see it on your screens there. 2 teams that we're looking forward to seeing. I believe Corvidae have lost 3 bans, unless that is a malfunctioning graphic. I'm not sure what's going on there. Oh, yes! Ta-da! All right, so Rek'Sai first bet. Rek'Sai. Dragon in support, you know. So Taka in the mid lane. Boss is still there.
Boss.
Are we going to see Udyr in the jungle again?
I hope so. I love that guy. But Rek'Sai's off, so we know for certain that she's not going to be seen on the Rift. A little pet peeve. Yeah, I heard you guys say he a whole lot in the first game, but she is now off the Rift. And I don't really miss that a whole lot, because in the first 2 games when we saw the Rek'Sai, it didn't really perform a lot. They used their ultimate once at maximum, and it didn't do a whole lot in terms of changing the face of a team fight. It was simply, bam, more damage. So very glad that it's off.
Well, Gallia going to be banned away as well. Caitlyn by Abyss Academy. And see if that Zac is left open. I mean, Abyss Academy surely would prioritize their last ban, Zac. Like, you don't want it first. It feels like anyone can kind of... Hang on, I'll take that back because I know Juves would disagree. Or, not Juves, but who said this? Juves can't play Zac.
Oh, that was T-Gun.
Was that T-Gun?
Yeah, T-Gun was... Oh,
that's
just can't play Zac.
Thanks for supporting me there. But Zac will be the last ban away, but Thresh is still left available. See what Corvidae go for their priority. No.
Mate, is that a throwback? Are we doing the Time Warp?
Is Little Cop part of the Rocky Horror Picture Show? I do not know.
But that's going back in time and they lock it in. It's a very long hover.
No, look, there's Oz's Twitch, so we weren't wrong. So Twitch priority going to come through as Corvidae's very first pick of the OCS split number 2. Abyss Academy, how do they respond to this? I mean, do they put the priority on the Thresh? Can Coon play that champion? I assume you can.
Yeah, I mean, Thresh is pretty much a staple of supports. Everybody has to play it at some point throughout their solo queue career. But one of the things that I really want to hit on is the fact that Abyss, they blocked off Caitlyn, which means that neither of them could pick it up. And then they leaked the Twitch through over to Corvidae. So that one was really strange to see. I mean, usually, if she's not banned, then it's just Caitlyn meta left, right, and center. It's Caitlyn, and who could deal with Caitlyn over on the other side? But instead, she's off the board, and the Twitch now comes online. That's a little bit weird. Overall, I'm not a huge fan of Twitch, especially in the laning phase, because his passive means that anybody who buys a Doran Shield into him just gets free heals all throughout the laning phase. But later as the game goes, his passive only helps him with his E.
Well, Corvidae going to pick up that Jarvan straight away as well for Little Cop. But we can expect that in the jungle. You know, has been played, especially in the LPL, I believe. Sorry, I will stop talking about international shortly. Sway's picking up the Kha'Zix once again. 2nd week in a row, and it just puts that Kha'Zix percentage up. I mean, there's so much priority in 7.12, especially in the OCS, on this jungler.
Yeah, I mean, Kha'Zix has a really good wave clear. If you get a leash from your jungler, level 1, in order to clear your raptors, it means that you can solo the big raptor, you can solo your red, you can solo your blue. That gets you to level 3, and all of that is extremely smooth sailing for him. Above that, he has a whole lot of ganking potential, but like we saw last game, his only one problem is the fact that he doesn't bring a lot of innate CC, so if his team doesn't bring it along in their lanes, they can't. Oh, no!
There we go.
Oh!
Wasn't going to panic, but yes, okay, we're finally looking at the more pro league. Paprise thinks he can play a Kled going into the J4. I like this a lot. I like the team composition that's starting to be built. The Kha'Zix, the Varus, with that charge. Kled's going to give us a lot of fun. You just wait.
Extremely immobile Varus. Fairly immobile Kha'Zix because he needs to save his E. Who cares? Get the Kled in there, charge right into the middle of the enemy, and you got that movement speed to go up for him. So the real big question that we will have to ask Paprise this game is, Scarl, where are you, girl?
better be sticking around. You know that the Kled up in that top lane is going to be making short work if he can get ahead. And we've seen how top laners can get ahead tonight. If that happens again, you know exactly which direction the game's going to go. And Abyss Academy definitely the favorites to win here. Unless you in chat think that Corvidae is going to win. I mean, you can go hashtag CVD win. We'll talk about that in a second. However, we're into the second ban phase now, and the Vladimir taken away. It's going to be the Ahri as well. Kassadin taken by Abyss, putting a lot of priority on Taka in that mid lane. That is potentially 3 mid lane bans already. 4 if you count Corvidae's ban on Syndra. Let's see what the final ban for Corvidae is, because I feel like the support could be a priority. Maybe you get rid of Thresh.
Yeah, but one thing that's sticking out is Orianna. So LeBlanc is being taken off. Orianna is still available.
Yep.
If Abyss do decide to pick it up right now, then that actually puts a lot of onus onto Corvidae. Who are they going to pick up in order to counter it? Ahri is seen as one of the counters into it, but she's banned away. So all in all, Abyss, they've most definitely covered all of their corners.
This seems like they're really set up for this Orianna pick in the mid lane, so expect it, and Frey will lock that one in. Corvidae's response, I mean, do you just go for the Cassiopeia? Do you go for something like, I mean, there's not many mid laners left.
Yeah, you have to. You have to go for something that's, you know, A grade instead of S grade, but that's going to be really punishing for them because of the huge combination that's coming out from Abyss Academy's lineup so far. You've got a Kled, you've also got a Kha'Zix. Either one of them can be the bold delivery system. You can indeed put it onto Kha'Zix because Kled is the person who's really engaging. He might not be in the correct position afterwards, but Kha'Zix with his jump will always be in the correct position because it's a point-and-click ability, and then all of a sudden everybody gets pulled in by the shockwave. So that's something really deadly that's coming out from Abyss. They're not simply picking up the Orianna just because she's the last S tier. It works with the composition.
And for the second time tonight, and for the last time tonight, is going to be the Tahm Kench to synergize in that bottom lane, keep that Twitch safe. I mean, there is a lot of distraction, and there's a lot of targets, which will be high priority. I mean, the Cassiopeia and the Twitch. Twitch can pop off late game. We know what Oza can potentially do. So keep your eyes peeled for that AD carry of Corvidae. Now, how do you round out this composition that just wants to engage and pretty much get a wombo combo? Get a Brom.
Yeah. To protect your AD carry and also to facilitate even more diving in. Yeah, just dive in. Wait for the Kled to use his ultimate into the back, into the front line of the enemy team, and then just jump right onto him after you moved in after him with his ultimate speed up. And then just use your Glacial Fissure, and the whole enemy team will be disrupted. Now, Corvidae, they have a very strong task ahead of them. Sure, they've got the Olaf, which means that he can run through a whole lot of the CC provided by Abyss, and there is a lot of CC provided by them. But all in all, early to mid-game, what they're lacking on Corvidae's side is range. Because when you get to late game, of course, Twitch, he can use his ultimate, and they can use that a whole lot onto the enemy team. But early to mid, their siege isn't very strong. But if they manage to make it to late, Twitch Cassiopeia is one of the strongest combos in the game, because Twitch's passive applies for Cassiopeia's poison.
And I mean, really? So if Twitch has Venom...
Yep. If you just get one stack of your passive onto the enemy, then Cassiopeia can just keep on Twin Fanging. Yep. If you build a Rune Dance on that Twitch as well, 3 people get it.
So, Cassiopeia can Twin Fang, and the Twin Fang counts as poison.
Yes.
For Venom.
Yeah, I know. It's bonkers.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, it's nuts. I used to run it all the time.
Things you learn here in the OCS.
The Cassiopeia Twitch lane. Not a great lane, but man, it's cheese.
Well, we're expecting to see, I'm going to see if that's true as we get into game. The last game of the night, ladies and gentlemen, for the OCS, week number 2. And we have seen a couple of upsets already tonight, and Corvidae, if they can take it to Abyss Academy, this will definitely be one of them. Corvidae, of course, debuting on the Rift, just like Lynx did. Corvidae, of course, went up against Alpha Sydney, who had to forfeit last week. But let's see if they can come in with fresh legs, test out the Twitch. And there are going to be a lot of eyes on Oza, but especially Taka in the mid as well, who's picking up the Cassiopeia. Going into the Orianna, Frey, I mean, he's had tougher matchups, but I feel like, you know, this will really test him and show if Frey is in his form.
Exactly. And it's not only that, but it also tests his communication with the rest of his team, because no Orianna carries alone. You always need a bold delivery system in order to really make the big plays. Other than that, you're really relying on your enemy to be in the wrong place. So if he manages to communicate that, if he manages to say, you know what, Kha'Zix, I know that you built full damage, but just jump in anyway. Trust me, it's going to be awesome. Then it's going to be one of those wombo combos that we'll remember for you know, a really long time.
I feel like Swaith is just doing what he loves doing. And that's going to play Kha'Zix again. So does Swaith go from playing Yi to just Kha'Zix?
No, he went for the Olaf on the other side.
No, wrong.
Wrong?
He went, man, I never get to say that. I never get to say he's wrong.
The one time.
What do you think Swaith is not on Corvidae.
No, he's not.
It's Boss.
Yeah.
And Boss
Yeah,
has
that's
played
my bad.
Ola. That's all right.
Yeah, but
It's okay.
Kha'Zix.
You'll find me sometime this game.
No,
Sorry,
yeah,
please talk.
it's going to go fine for him. And,
Please
you know,
talk.
like, we always know Sway to be that player who doesn't like to build a whole lot of tanky items, likes to go AD assassin. Does that remind you of anybody? A whole lot of resets as well? Does that bring anybody into mind? Yeah. And that's going to work really well. Yeah,
Sort of.
it's just a Master Yi replacement that's a little bit better in the early game.
Yeah, no, I guess he is. The Kha'Zix has been prioritized. I mean, there must be something I'm especially missing about patch 7.12 because it seems like the OCS is all about Kha'Zix and how big of a priority is. Seen him first pick over Thresh, over Galio. Interesting.
Yeah,
I think it's the only word I can leave.
Yeah, it's extremely interesting. But the one advantage that Kha'Zix has in a lower level of play, like for instance OCS than let's say the premier regions that we're comparing him to, is the fact that a whole lot of times in the OCS, somebody is just farming off in the side lane, and that gives rise to a whole lot of isolated damage that comes out from Kha'Zix. Whereas usually in other regions, especially if you take a look at the mid laner and the ADC, they've got a whole lot of people surrounding them, so not a lot of chance to assassinate them 100-0.
As we jump into the last game of the night very, very shortly, Abyss Academy have one job to do, and that is keep the expectation going that they are one of the best teams in the OCS split number 2. And as we saw before, Legacy Genesis taken down by Outlaw, so anything can happen here. Corvidae have not jumped to the Rift on this split just yet. There's a lot we're expecting from Ozza and other people around the Rift. I hope Ozza's right. Ozza. What is it with me? Oh, no, I've been saying Ozza. Apparently Ozza's not right. Apparently Ozza. Oren! Can I just call him Oren? Ozza. I've been saying Ozza. Producer in my ear as well. This just sounds like Benji all over.
We need to call everyone into this. Mendrix! What is it? It's Ozza. I'm pretty sure it's Ozza.
Okay, alright. I'm sorry, Twitch chat. I wouldn't want to hurt your feelings at all, but we are jumping into game number 4 before I just fall off and break another leg here. I mean, you carry me by the end of the
That was actually really strange because you went for the analogy, can they find their legs in this week?
Did I?
Yeah, but Corvidae, they're birds. Can they find their wings?
Oh.
Yeah.
But what are Abyss Academy going to find?
They're
fidget spinner.
Abysses. I think I saw the Abyss fidget spinner.
Yeah.
I believe that there's somebody.
Or is that the Avant-Garde?
No, they got a whole lot of ones.
That's the Avant-Garde,
on
isn't it?
Twitter. Yeah.
All right. We're gonna shut up as we jump into game. Oh man, thank you so much for joining us here tonight, live in Showdown Studios in the heart of Sydney. You're about to see Kled for the first time in the OCS, and it's going to be Paprise on that champion. Abyss Academy take on Corvidae. Let's see whose reign will take hold here. Abyss Academy already on 1 win. Corvidae, of course, on a win as well by default. But they've got to really fight for this one.
And already at level 1 hysterics, I've got a whole lot of criticism. KO, what are you doing, mate? You got a Doran's Blade instead of a Doran's Shield into a Twitch? Do you not want free health? That's all I got to ask, because that lane is going to be a little bit harder for him than usual. Sure, you've got the range above Twitch. You've got 600 as opposed to 550 that Twitch has, so you're always going to be able to outrange him. But if he can throw his cask onto you and even get 1 tick off, then that's where Doran's Shield comes in.
And that's when Cassiopeia comes down.
Yeah. Cassiopeia comes in, shoots her Twin Fangs like 5 times, and you just wonder, wait, this isn't meant to happen. She didn't even land a Q.
No, but Twitch poison. I am going to wait for that interaction.
Mate, it works.
It's
thing. OP.
It's actually a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, both analysts are giving me a nod. So I have learned something. That is Ozza.
Ozza.
Oz?
Ozza.
Ozza. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Got a whisper in our ear. There's going to be a ward dropped in this Raptor start for Swaith. And going to be helped by the Kled as well. Not going to steal a Raptor, just give a bear trap on a rope leash on the big one.
Yep. It's very bare, but he does manage to give one nonetheless. It shoots through pretty much every single one of those minions, so it's one of the strongest leashes that you can get from a top lane. I believe the strongest is a Renekton Q. Yeah, but other than that, it's an extremely fast one because it means that Swaith, of course, gets the isolation down onto the big one after he gets level 2, goes to red, goes to blue, can either get a Rift Scuttle, go into the enemy jungle, or gank bottom lane.
Swaith is going to be spotted out by a ward as he goes for the invade on blue. Yeah, I mean, this works as well, level 2. Going to go for blue, so you know what that means. It means that Boss is going to respond by going straight to Swaith's blue. Going to be a little bit quicker, but Boss, half health. I'm going to take the blast, go over, pops a potion
Extremely risky for Boss. I mean, of course, this is what you want to be in as Olaf. You want to be on low health, so your passive kicks in, you get a little bit more attack speed, you clear it quicker. But invading into the enemy jungle, especially low level, man, that's dangerous.
Yeah, Boss, no mana, but he's going to smite away this blue buff and go straight for the Wolves. No, does he back out now? I mean, he could go for a gank mid, but the Abyss bot lane has just walked up.
A little bit too slow.
Yeah, they're going to waste a bit of time. That blue's already gone. And let's see what Boss does. I mean, if he passes down the bottom lane, maybe just gets Scuttle and goes back into his own jungle. You can see Swaith went for a full clear of Boss's blue side.
Yeah, that's punishing. That's really big. Boss is going to be losing out heaps simply because he's also been moving around the map as well. He hasn't been clearing, he hasn't been getting gold or experience. And on the other side, Swaith, while he hasn't even got his red buff, he's managed to hit level 3, and right now he's going back into his own jungle. He might even be able to hit 4 off Scuttle.
Yeah, but up in the he's going over in the top lane. Looks like Swaith might be planning for either a lane gank or, like he said, going back into his own jungle. Paprise actually just pushing out this lane very heavily. Woodcrop will catch up now. Not really a big farm advantage. However, you can expect the Kled potentially snowball if Swaith can get up there. And Abyss Academy, see where they put the priority in their lane. See where the path takes Swaith, because I feel like the red buff, maybe go for Krugs, get level 4 and just back.
Yeah. You want to be able to clear these out. Make sure you get your red as well. He finally does secure it for himself, so nothing overall lost or gained by Swaith simply because the blue got taken away by Boss on his side of the map. But he managed to get a few extra camps, so he's still up throughout all of this trade. And now he should be looking towards going back, making sure that he can get some items in order to go toe-to-toe with Boss once again. The fact that Boss has been allowed to get this early lead and not take too much away from it really does go to his advantage. Swaith, no, you know, he's
Gucci. All right. I mean, that was close.
He's a pro.
That was close.
Yeah, but you're allowed to be in your own jungle.
How many people have died to camps in the OCS last
Sure,
split?
fine. He's better than Schönfire. Is that what you wanted to say?
I mean, no, but I'm talking about OCS, but sure, let's mention that. Everyone dies to a camp sometime.
You get one in your career.
Didn't Juves die to a camp as well?
We don't talk about that. He's got a rip run.
Okay, here's the engage we talk about, Paprise. Let Skull take a bit of the damage. I mean, who else is going to take it for him right now? Bear Trap on a rope. Proven to be an efficient trading and farming tool. I'm going to try and get some deep vision. You can see that Boss is up in this top lane, and Paprise know he's been spotted out. Going to throw a ping down, but it's a very slow start to the early game. 5 minutes in, only a small lead for Abyss Academy, just because Swaith has been clearing some of the bigger camps, and you can see that in the mid lane, Frey just been farming so much better as well.
Yeah, and that little roam that came out of Paprise really did help Abyss Academy out. He managed to go down, put a ward down into Corvidae's jungle, and also spot out Boss, which means his bottom lane knows that they can go aggressive and be safe doing so. Swaith!
Here comes Swaith, forces
Wrong
the flash.
way.
Ghost has been used as well. In comes Boss, looking for the attack speed as he gets lower and lower, but Boss, too deep, the flash comes through. One more auto attack, the dissonance to finish it off. Frey for first blood.
And those mechanics, exactly what you need on Orianna, but eaten up.
Kuden has been spewed back out. He jumps back and says, stand behind me to KO. Will not go down. Still the 1 kill. Create that 1k gold lead for Abyss Academy.
Very well done to Kuden to not die in that situation, also to hold on to both of his summoners. This was the condition that I put down for him in the first week, and he has met it excellently. He's starting to evolve. He's got that room to really grow in the OCS as opposed to OPL, and he's picking up a whole lot of these tank supports. So on this Brom, even though he is down at the very least on health, trading over to Dragon and Ozza, he's still doing pretty well. He's still doing pretty well for himself.
Love the emphasis there.
He's very Australian.
I mean, I would just call him Oren. Oren.
I don't know him
Oren.
personally,
Oren.
so I don't feel as if I have the social status to really call him Oren. But you can if you want to.
Thank you. Well, you know his name. No biggie. No biggie there.
Mom, I know this OCS player.
Corvidae, not really backed into a corner right now, but feel themselves that, a couple of lanes really getting pushed against all three. When KO and Kuden come back in, easily pushing lane. It's just going to be a bit of a farm fest for Corvidae right now, just making sure they survive. And get to a point in this game where they can at least force.
Oh, this could be volatile. There are 3 people for Abyss Academy walking over here. Dragon.
Flashes over the wall. Dragon. Sorry, used to Drakon. Let's just call him Dragon, like he is.
Yeah, but once again, he burns his flash, and now he'll go and drag on back to the bottom lane.
Oh yeah, I bet he will. I bet he will, Preacher. But the priority on Vision, you can see Abyss Academy put on that red side jungle. And if you look down that bottom side of the map, look at the ward coverage by Abyss Academy. All around the red.
It's the Pacific Rim. They know exactly what's happening down there, and anytime Boss moves out of it, there's going to be straight fire that's in his way.
Thanks again, Preacher. Corvidae. Keeping it nice and slow, however, not really forcing anything, apart from that one pick where you can see it was just a reactionary play from Boss. Taka going to continue to farm up in this mid lane, but falling behind because Frey ahead by about 8 CS after this wave gets taken.
Not to mention the kill that he picked up for himself very early on. So he's always going to be ahead of this Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia, of course, being a late game champion. Not really helped by the fact that this Orianna is simply so far ahead. Given the fact that it's Frey as well, this might be something that Taka's going to have a really hard time dealing with.
Yeah, plus that extra kill means Morel and Omicron shouldn't be too far off. Tear of the Goddess picked up by Taka. Expecting him to go for that Rod of Ages build once more, as the Cassiopeias always do, but a lot more slower pace of game than we're used to tonight. Remember, they're only best of ones, and each win, each week, could cost you, the position to try and get into that OPL promotion tournament. It's that win that you need, and Corvidae, they already have one on the board. To win against the Abyss Academy this early puts them in a great position to contest, and it means that all other teams will be questioning where Corvidae actually sits on the map.
Yeah,
Abyss Academy can sit on the map.
And that's huge going into mentality for these two teams going in, because if you lose this one for the week, then all of a sudden for the next 6 days while you're practicing, waiting for the next OCS week, you're going to remember yourself as that team who didn't quite perform the week before. And that really does weigh down not only from yourself, from your peers, but also from your fans as well. So hopefully they can perform, if not pick up again.
Swaith once again invading. You can see the vision control allows him to do so. The ward's on the other side of that blue pit, and it's pretty invasive jungling. Swaith still pushing the limit. Has the warrior. Now comes top. Here comes the charge, baby. Little Cop goes in. Cataclysm onto Swaith. Jumps out. Flash after flash to follow Little Cop. And one more hit should do it as the ultimate and the isolation. There it is. Okay, now Taka finds Skull. He runs away. Petrifying gaze. He will just get Swaith. Over the wall is Paprise and traded off by a roam.
Very nice angle. He even caught Paprise if you wanted to flash over the wall and take it, but he plays very safe. He takes what he knows he can get.
Oh, he still found Paprise.
Oh, he's got it.
It's going to be 2 for Taka. That roam, very worthwhile for
All right, so now I can finally talk about what he did. He angled it so not only did he manage to catch Swaith, take Swaith down with his burst, but also Paprise afterwards. And now Frey, while he gets a turret.
Exhausted through, will have to flash as well, but he's grounded here. Cassiopeia, chomp, 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 chomp. And the auto attack to get a Dragon to pick up Frey. Corvidae have switched on like my light bulb at home.
Yeah, and very good play from Dragon. Pretty much, he goes bright like a diamond. He eats up Frey and puts him right back into the miasma that Taka put down. So all in all, there was not a single second in which Frey had the freedom to flash over the wall.
Corvidae just make one big play. However, Abyss Academy, I mean, they still pick up that first turret blood. That's a really important thing to note here. There's a 2k gold lead. Abyss Academy, first turret, the first blood, and that extra kill is an important note. However, Corvidae, the camera, look at that. Are you nodding your head, cameraman? I didn't say you could talk, observer. Back in the chamber.
Oh, no. He thinks he has rights.
Oh, he does.
No.
Preacher. Let's not go there. He does, all right? We're very appreciative to our observer. Please don't leave after that comment.
Of course, yeah.
Please don't turn the computer off. We had that in the OCS before, and we got flute music afterwards. That's a very long story.
Yeah, well,
go look at the VOD.
Yeah, this game is very calming, so we don't need any flute music to get even calmer.
And we need that apparently. Well, Space has just found an isolated boss.
Oh, he pops it.
Pops the Ragnarok. That's going to be a good ult. Forced out a boss. Swaith is here. In comes J4. Little Cop, can he find the engage? Has the Cataclysm available. Petrifying Gaze for Taka. The 201 Cassiopeia is going to start being a threat. Has the Rod of Ages this early in the game. I mean, Corvidae, they are still behind. However, finding those 3 kills and finding the Cassiopeia in a big lead is going to hurt Frey.
Yeah, it is. It accelerates his build to the point where Taka doesn't have to worry about his laning phase anymore. He doesn't have to worry about going back and then walking back to lane. Simply because Rod of Ages is going to stack for him. Tier, exactly the same story. And he can go toe-to-toe with Frey. It also means that he's not restricted by his mana. He doesn't have to think, do I use my Twin Fangs here? Or do I save it and Q him in order to get a better rotation? No, you just use your Twin Fangs and you make sure that Frey gets down. But speaking of which, Frey's moving up.
Big rotation here. Boss walks up to the turret. Not sure why, but here's a Shockwave. Doesn't have Ragnarok available. And it's an easy kill after charge to follow through. Little Cop has joined this top lane turret. Are we going to see a Cataclysm? No, just get the grasp of the Undying, and Little Cop with a bit of extra health will walk away, but this turret could be close to dead.
And that was more or less of a free kill going over to them because they knew that Boss's Ragnarok was on cooldown from before. They knew that everybody else was in correct position.
Yeah.
Here comes Tongue.
Here comes Tongue Man, ready to hit you in the face. Ultimate, rat-a-tat-tat. Chains of Corruption is going to root up Twitch. Devour. Turret will be saved, but not up in the top lane. Nice. Double man ultimate by Brom. Great reaction, but here comes the Cataclysm, baby. KO, say goodbye to your friends, because they've left you alone. He's so low. That hurts. That's a spear in the butt.
Yeah, that's a Dragon Strike if I've ever seen one. That was max range.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Well,
that's why it's called Flag and Drag.
I do not know that. Rift Herald was actually started up. Look at Skull. He goes running for the hills. Tucker is a monster right now. Swait has to be careful. Will actually miss Smite, but still secures the Rift Herald for Abyss Academy. Corvidae's play is on the bottom lane, however. And they will just try and recap some of that gold. We're so fond of mentioning right now. First turret goes down for Corvidae, but all waves are pushing apart from that bottom lane.
And it always looks like Abyss is one step ahead of them. They managed to get 2, so they're still ahead in turrets despite the fact that Corvidae managed to trade one back. And that was really weird going over to Abyss because while they miss out on that turret, they managed to get a Rift Herald. Let's see what they can do with it. Mid lane is, of course, down for them. That is naturally the biggest one that you want to break down with Herald, but you can't help but wonder, do they set their eyes on top lane and try to push for more than one?
Taka is someone I'm still going to keep mentioning, Preacher. I mean, map rotations by Corvidae are really important here, like you were just talking about. But Taka is 2-0-1 and having a really good time against Frey. Although 30 CS down, he's been matching rotations by Abyss Academy, and you can see the pressure there he was putting on Swathe. You saw there Kuden has just finished his quest, is going to get the Relic Shield, just to add to the list.
And you've always got to give big props, going back to your point about Targa, because Cassiopeia early game, in fact, Cassiopeia before level 18, her passive doesn't allow her to buy boots. There's no real way that she can get a whole lot of mobility in the kit. So the fact that she can move so safely down in order to rotate with the rest of her team, you've got to give them props no matter what.
This rotation by Abyss Academy after taking the bottom lane turret, I mean, Corvidae.
No, you can't do this, Corvidae.
You need to match this. I mean, the Rift Herald's bot lane, 2 members are here. It's Taka and Little Cop, and bonkers into the turret, as that inner is going to be chipped down and destroyed.
All right, let me give you a little bit of Math of Legends with Preacher right here.
Math of Legends.
If you try to split push against a Rift Herald, the Rift Herald wins. Just a general rule.
I hear charge. Turn the map mid, baby, because Taka's dead. Paprise sends the whole team and follows it through. And it will be the Cassiopeia, who was 2-0-1, now 2-1-1. I mean, take down the Cassiopeia, and what resources do Corvidae have to fight you?
Oh, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't the worst thing that could have possibly happened for Corvidae, but giving over one random kill because of a 5-man dive still does favor Abyss Academy. Of course, they're not going to have the charge. Charge is one of the longer cooldown abilities in the game, but the kill went over to Paprise, so all in all, it was worth for him.
Here we go. Let's watch that charge.
I mean, it's just going to be a 5-man dive, right?
Wait for it. Ready?
You got it, and then charge comes in from this way, blocks him off. There's no way that he...
Paprise, little bit of bonk.
Sandwich, the classic, I'm going to cut off your exit so that you feel really sad.
All the eggs in the basket, and there was a hole in the basket.
Just fell right
for
through.
Corvidae. I mean, there's no hole in the basket for Abyss Academy right there. 4K gold lead. 4.5K, in fact. Corvidae, their one factor is they've got the Ocean Drake. They want a bit of sustain, but Abyss Academy zoning them out. This is what that gold lead does. It creates the pressure, and Corvidae, do they want to fight here? I feel like if they fight, this could end very badly.
Yeah, but there's no charge for Paprise. You got to keep that in mind. However, there is a shockwave.
Yeah, Cataclysm is available. Little Cop getting bursted down, doesn't even use the Cataclysm. 2 members destroyed. Abyss Academy petrifying gaze isn't going to get anyone. Taka gets flashed on by Paprise. Oza starts popping off, but gets chomped. The Devour, the Shockwave, it's a little bit late. Oza's very low, but Dissonance to pop him away. And Corvidae, tuck tail and run. Double kill. And Taka, the last one with the ace. It's 5 members dead for 1.
And they're just going to push straight down bottom lane, hopefully even get an inhibitor for their troubles. But going back to that entire trade, pretty much Abyss Academy won that without a charge coming out from Kled, and without using Frey's ultimate until the very end, where it had very little impact. So not having 2 of their highest impact abilities and still winning the game, they just have a very cohesive team fight ability and just know what each other's going to do without really communicating and wasting dead air trying to communicate.
Paprise, 1 more hit. There you go. G'day, Skull. How was it? Oh, yeah, not bad.
Yeah, not bad. I just went down for a bit of a breather, but now I'm back.
Just a biddle, and now he's back.
Just going down to help you out.
I mean, it wasn't a bit, it was a biddle, wasn't it?
I mean, he went for a trip to Mexico, so that was quite
Oh, we're back there.
We're going back, boys.
Going back to Mexico. Dude, this must be cheap flights if we could just keep going back to Mexico.
Especially from O's.
Man, it's like a big flight, isn't it? Yeah. Isn't it like a 14-hour flight?
We'll have to ask.
How far is it to Mexico?
I have no idea.
Well, we're going to fight. We might have to Google it after this. Because we're going in. All right. Let's take a recap of the game right now, because it's not even 20 minutes and Abyss Academy lead by about 7,000 gold. When we get to that 20-minute mark, I mean, did Corvidae start switching on? You know, you've got an Olaf. You do have a J4. You got a Cassiopeia. You got a Twitch, which is a really big high point for Corvidae. But
it's going to take a little bit longer than 20 minutes. And for all the people at home...
20 minutes from now?
Yeah, they can't... Maybe 20 minutes from now, that's when they could start thinking about coming onto the map. But yeah, their team composition really doesn't facilitate them doing too much at the current moment. Viewers at home can't see what I'm doing. I'm punching my watch because that's what Corvidae need to do. They need to fight the clock. Boss,
Ragnarok,
this is how you do it.
Devoured. Dragon's going to save him and spit him back out. And Corvidae... I mean, their jungler is low and has to back away. Abyss Academy, Baron is up in 5. Do they force this or do they just get top?
They have to try and get top because other than that, they're not going to have a really good opportunity in order to do it. They've got Paprise in the mid lane, which means he's going to be splitting very aptly for their entire team. So this is as good of a time as any for them to go for it.
Paprise is just going to take this turret down. And Kled proving worth. I mean, this first time in the OCS, and Paprise has matured into this top laner who I think fits Abyss Academy really, really well. Someone in the past who we haven't highlighted as much because we've said, you know, this guy is second or third best in the team at Abyss Academy. Oh, boss.
Oh, no.
Isolated a little bit late. Swathe jumps on him anyway. Ragnarok not available.
Here
comes the charge. And the rest of the team are coming through. But Paprise,
that was awkward.
That's a little bit slow. That's okay. But I think with that charge and forcing them out, they might just go for Baron.
It's a little bit short. You might just want to aim it directly into the middle of the enemy base. You take like 1 turret hit, but...
Oh, there is a turret there. I mean, like...
Just 1.
Oh, here we go again. We're going to call this the Abyss Academy Bush.
Round 2.
Fnatic Bush, hang on. Swathe.
Swathe, he's a bait.
In, isolated. No,
where's the hook, line, and sinker?
Oh, it's not there. It's Corvidae not falling for the trap. That's the second time Abyss Academy have tried to do that. That lane ward will spot out Corvidae's movements for now. And Baron, does it get turned on now? It's just waiting for that pick. Oz is on the other side of the map getting the red buff, which I think might reset.
Yeah, it might reset it. If it does, then he just has to leave it because over on the top side, Abyss Academy, they call the bluff.
This is going down quick.
Look, if you don't hit the ward, they don't know you're doing it.
Exactly right. And Baron is just going to be tackled down like a rugby player off field. The red side of Abyss Academy will pick up the Baron of the game 21 minutes in, and Corvidae did not even know what was going on.
And that was rock, paper, scissors strategy. You try to cheese them twice when they walk against you, and then they just think, okay, if they're going to do it a third time, let's just leave them alone. You're leaving them alone next to a Baron. You know what that means? Especially with a Kled, somebody who's got a steroid on his W, especially with a Varus who's already built a Blade of the Ruined King, it goes down. That's what it means.
Oza finally picking up that red buff. You saw him before. I think he disengaged or left it or it reset.
Yeah, I mean, they were calling for him to go up, but because...
Oza.
was not in the top side of their jungle. It just meant that there was no conceivable way Corvidae could have fought Abyss Academy over that Baron, could have contested it, and they just had to give it up.
Corvidae had a interesting early game. This mid game doesn't really seem to be going in their favor, but waiting for Abyss Academy to really utilize this Baron buff. I mean, it will give them that 1,500 gold. It will put them close to that 10k lead, which is almost not able to come back from. This Academy clearing out the jungle. 35 seconds to this next dragon, and there's an ocean on both sides. Doesn't really have the pick of the dragons. Curious to see what the next one is, but Frey holding mid. There's going to be a Kled down in the bottom lane. Corvidae just have to wait and try and find some kind of lead or some pick. See if Sways jumps too far forward.
I mean, they're doing a 3-1-1, and for their composition, it's not actually too bad. The only questionable part is Orianna in the solo lane, but still, you got a Braum, who's the main tank component. Now they've converted to a 4-0-1, and they're sieging down really well.
Ultimates all available for Corvidae. Cataclysm, Petrifying Gaze, and the Rat-a-tat-tat. The ability to wombo combo is there. Paprise has taken down bottom turret, but Little Cop, I don't think he can deal with the Kled. So this inhibitor is just going to get chipped away nice and slowly, but it goes down. And Paprise opens up the base by himself, and Corvidae do not respond.
See, what you do now, if you're Paprise, is you keep on pushing all the way down onto the Nexus turrets. You don't aim to get it, but you aim to draw more than one person so that the rest of your team can get top. Doesn't do that, though.
Distractions, 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 Preacher.
Instead, he goes for mid. I mean, he might just be able to get a free turret himself.
I feel like, you know, he might be able to. Taka, can he stop him?
There we go. 2 people going to it.
There we go. That's going to be fair. A little bit of chip damage. A little bit of boost.
Just a little. I mean, he hasn't used his charge yet, so the boost isn't quite there.
No, but...
Oh, no, the flag drag!
Cataclysm comes in with the flash. The ultimate, the Glacial Fissure. O's is popping off. Shockwave to lock them down. Chains of Corruption. They spit out Boss right in front of the enemies. Paprise there. Petrifying Gaze on 2 members. Could be a good fight for Corvidae to flash away. There is no Shockwave available. Ozza is popping off after the Rat-a-tat-tat. Corvidae to pick up 2 for 1.
Okay, so Corvidae managed to defend. It was a little bit too late simply because of the fact that bot lane inhibitor fell. But it's better late than never. It means that you have breathing room now. It means that the Baron buff on the enemy team, which is slowly ticking out, won't be in effect next time they siege. And Abyss Academy, they got to respect it. Now the best option for them is simply to sack the rest of Corvidae's jungle, sack the rest of their own jungle, and make sure they fight over the next dragon and get a whole lot of Baron pressure for the next one to come.
But how many times can Corvidae get a fight like that?
There's very little opportunity. The main factor for them getting that one was the fact that Paprise was over in the middle lane, and he had that weird situation in which he had to decide between using his ultimate or his teleport. Jarvan flashing, flag drag, and then cataclysming immediately means there just was no call for either of them.
And then walked on across. Slow rotation from Abyss Academy may have just cost them that fight, but it still means they get access to the rest of the map of resources. Corvidae are able to push out, but their Baron buff, pretty sure, has expired.
It has.
And it was a very low Baron power play. If I had the graphic on the screen, I could, but it was 9,000 gold after the Baron. Still 9,000 now, about 8,500. So if anything...
Yeah, I'd say a net zero.
Yeah, definitely net zero, if not negative from the 1,500.
Yeah, but one thing that isn't accounted when it comes to gold is the inhibitor that they got. So they still did manage to get that one, and that's a huge factor of the map.
Ocean Drake goes over. Abyss Academy now holding 2, and for a composition that can sort of disengage very easily, this Ocean Drake could be a blessing in disguise. Whether Corvidae can defend, and if Frey gets that 3-man plus Shockwave, then that's it.
That's it.
Corvidae find themselves in a losing game.
You're Dunzarino, and this is really the point in which Corvidae have to be extremely careful, but they cannot be as cautious as they were before. Being as cautious as Corvidae before means that Abyss Academy just managed to get a Baron for absolutely nothing. So while they need to be cautious of Frey always able to be off on the side, getting those stray shockwaves, they need to be brave enough to contest it.
Well, they look like they want to go in again. 2-man Cataclysm layered with the Glacial Fissure. In comes KO and takes down Little Cop. Boss uses the Ragnarok. There's a lot of poke damage, but Corvidae are holding out for now. They will not trade this one off, and it's a 4v5 defense.
All right. 4v5, Little Cop down, no Cataclysm available anymore. You have to feel as if the primary engage for Corvidae simply doesn't exist. Ragnarok also down for boss. There's no way that they can really defend this one. This is really Abyss Academy's game to take for the next 20 seconds.
Well, I mean, there are 4 ultimates down. If Ozar can get the perfect ultimate here, whoa, takes half his health with a dissonance, gets devoured up and saved. Piercing arrow to poke down Tom Kench. Corvidae see themselves losing this inhibitor if they're not careful. But meanwhile, Paprise mid. This guy on Kled is obnoxious as anything. And will just walk his way across the base. Abyss Academy, where's your engage? He's dead. But now, he's back available. No Cataclysm to speak of. And Abyss Academy, they get mid lane turret. They're still opening up the base slowly but surely with an 11k gold lead.
Okay, so there was a very coherent call that could have happened from Abyss Academy, and that was Paprise using his charge right into the middle of the enemy team while they only had 4 members. They choose not to do so, which means that they don't get either of the inhibs in the mid lane or the top lane. And that might be something that they regret later on, because the timer for bottom lane inhibitor has been ticking, and it should be coming up anytime soon. However, Baron buff is also on the clock.
Well, you can see the gold disparity across the map, and mid lane is no stranger on this day to differences. 5,000 for Frey, 1,000 for the bottom lane, and in all honesty, I'm not too surprised. I mean, it has still been Abyss Academy's game. Just a bit, yeah, it's been not Frey's, you know, perfect game, but still 5-1 and 4, and I'd say close to perfect.
Nothing to scoff at. If I got that in a game, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah. Well, Baron up and available. Abyss Academy choose not to take it just yet. They send KO up into this top lane, and Frey continuing to harass in the mid. Will just clear the waves out. Ozza goes invisible. He's potentially the saving grace for Corvidae right now. I mean, Taka's just been harassed, abused, picked up the Banshee's Veil. Looks like next item will be a Void Staff. See what Abyss Academy can pull.
Boss, he wants to do it.
Oh, charge.
There's a charge.
Thrown in. It's going to be going on the boss. Ragnarok's there. Cataclysm.
Wow.
3 members, wombo combo. But the Glacial Fissure hits 4. Shockwave onto Taka. Frey is unstoppable. Boss, bear trap on a rope will take him. And everyone from Abyss Academy is so low. But the finish is not there. With 3 dead from Corvidae, Abyss Academy can break on through to the other side.
And can I just say what amazing positioning that was coming out of KO? He was pretty much untouched throughout that whole fight. One ability hits him. He flashes directly into the middle of the group. And then all of a sudden, frantic calling from Corvidae. No damage goes down to the ADC. And he just performed massively in that last team fight.
And Abyss Academy with the help of Paprise. I mean, Paprise has been in these side lanes all game. Frey executing exactly when he needs to. Abyss Academy, it wasn't methodical, but hey, it was pretty standard right here. Dragon trying to delay time. They don't care about him. They want their second win, and Corvidae will go down to Abyss Academy for Game 4.
Abyss Academy, well done, guys. That was very cleanly executed, and one of the silent sleepers was, of course, Frey, because we didn't really check in with him too much, but every now and then when we went back to him, we were just like, oh, he's got more gold. And oh, it just keeps on increasing. This lead doesn't stop.
Abyss Academy, we were expecting that. Let's be honest. You know, we put them in the power rankings. We put them as top 2, and they have performed. But the fact that Corvidae had these openings in the game means that I feel like Abyss Academy, yes, made some mistakes, but Corvidae just have these shining lights hidden in their roster.
I do want to talk about that early game as well. I mean, with Corvidae, they did make some good moves around the map. Were able to get those kills early.
True.
But when I was looking at it, there was a lot of cost involved. All of a sudden, I mean, in terms of when you did have that move from Cassiopeia in the mid lane going up towards the top to get those kills, basically lost that mid lane turret. The first blood was given away because of it. And then there was also a lot of waves lost there. So all of a sudden, Frey had this massive gold lead that even though he died and paid for it in the end, he still came back with a massive advantage because of it. And then from there, yes, they were able to pick up a few objectives off the back of it, but then next thing you know, good rotations from Abyss. They get the Rift Herald. They make the right decisions, and they really just seemed in control from the game from that point onwards.
Swayth has advanced as a jungler, I dare say. I think he's performing excellently. Paprise is someone I want to talk about, because Paprise, when we looked at him, Preacher and I were at this event, and he was playing Nautilus, he was part of Infamous, and he was part of a small
Poppy
sort of open ladder style team. Paprise has come into Abyss Academy as a bit of a front runner, and someone who can play Kled, I think, is a massive asset, Preacher.
Yeah, and I think that this patch in specific really does favor him. I think that in terms of adaptability of champion pool, this guy is king for me because he just manages to play whatever is meta and play it extremely well. Back then it was tank meta, right now it's carry meta. Going over to something like Kled, which is just so out in the open, that's different from every other champion, and being able to pick it up and perform so well with it on your debut in the OCS, yeah, that really does signal that he really can adapt.
It just works really well as a ball delivery system as well, which on paper, when you look at that draft, does well. And another thing to take into account, take a look at what was banned away. There's no Galio, there's no Renekton. And all of a sudden, you need to be able to start being able to dive deep into that champion pool. And to pull out the Kled, great, no worries there. Works well on paper with what you've already put together, and you did a great job split pushing. So he did his job well and truly through and through.
But gentlemen, week number 2, and still no Galio mid. Hopefully next week can impress us as we move past this one. And you know, a couple of teams shining their light, and we can have a better look now and understand who our top 4 are, because we're going to change some things around. However, that'll be a discussion for next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Those were our 4 games, and OCS will be back with you next Friday, at 6 p.m. We are live here in the heart of Showdown Sydney. Well, Sydney, and this is Showdown. You know exactly what I mean. I don't have any words today. I've gone flip-flop, and I've said some weird things. But thank you so much for staying tuned. Mendrix, Nathan Mendrix Mendez, Jimmy Preacher Fu, in case you forgot the names, Jake Hysterics, Ozzy Penko, don't remember mine, not after today. We will be back with you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you then.